What's going on, guys? Kids here, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm showing a speed expedition. Of course, the content creator's link will be in the description. So basically, the first question is how you get into the hardcore expedition. So the first thing is that you kill mobs, so you can just fame farm. Usually with Walk Alliance we fame farm in high outlands, and in those dungeons you basically almost get in every boss. So basically that is like a job, that is of course percentage wise, and just by killing mobs, random NPCs in open world and in dungeons, mostly in dungeons, you can find maps that looks like a tier 4, like a blue item, and that will show a map. And maps are different levels from level 1 and starting to level 7, 8 and so on and so forth. Only right now I have heard that the highest level that people have completed is level 7, and level 8 has been really hard. But basically, yeah, the main thing and for expeditions are that the mobs have a lot higher tier, so they have more health, more damage, they are stronger to kill, and you need better equipment. So basically with the equipment in this video, I think it's the gear starting from 7.1 to 8.1. In my opinion, 8.1 gear is required. Of course, everyone in Discord as well, because it's really important. There aren't really big strategies or whatever. Some pulls you can, like we just saw, we can escape. So basically the first thing at the starting maps is whenever you find this type of thing, so like a cave, there are things that you don't need to kill every single mob, because you know as well there is the event list that you need to kill, like for example 5 guardsmen and those sorts of things. By escaping them you can only go to objectives that are those 5 guardsmen, 6 veterans and so on and so forth. And of course in the right side, in the corner of the right side, you can see all the objectives that you need to have to be able to complete this map. And of course whenever you complete the map, next level will be harder and harder and harder. So a really important thing as for every fam farm in my opinion is having a mana cowl, at least 1 or 2 guys. The main thing is that the mob, you don't really need a lot of defensives, because these mobs do a lot of damage but to a tank, and if tank does everything right with taunting and when keeping aggro, you should be good to go, and not you shouldn't die as DPS. In higher levels, of course, whenever a tank dies, the DPSs dies, and they do a lot of damage to DPS, especially Cloth, who do a lot of DPS. So the main thing is that for expeditions you always want a tank, a healer, and 3 really high DPSs. Like you just saw, whenever you stand in one of the UVs, you die right away, but you get up if you don't get executed. If the full team gets killed, then you again start from whatever point you have. And of course, whenever you go further and further, there are those stone things that you right now can see on the screen. The blue rock things that you can stand in them, and whenever your team dies, gets full wipe, then you will spawn. Not in the start like we usually know in expeditions, but in the back. Also, there are more different maps that maybe I will show you in the next videos as well, but basically this is one of the maps, one of the 3 or 4 I think. So basically then there's one in like a farm type of thing, like a desert area. Then there's one in open, in like an open space like in the forest as well. Then there is an undead undercrypt, like also like a cave type of thing, but like with skeletons and stuff. And of course, and the thing is that not always the like for example level 1 is cave, level 2 is undead crypt or whatever. It will always be randomized, so whenever like you get the map, it will be randomized. And of course the more maps you get, the more you can choose what type of map and what type of level you want to complete. And of course whenever you complete it, you get another level, so you can complete it at that as well. Basically people have said that it's really it's starting to be as a speed expeditions all over again. My main thing is that first of all you need to use gear, and whenever you die your expensive 8.1 or 8.2 gear is at least 20 to 30, 20,000 repair cost. If you like die once or even twice, just dying twice can cost you a lot of money. So I think that it's really important that the new expeditions are just like basically for fun. No one is doing them anymore for speed expeditions, because first of all you don't get as many maps, so you cannot do them as fast. The fame that you get is actually good. Of course it isn't the best as you would be fame farming, because you cannot pull like a lot of mobs and stuff, but you actually see that from the big guys you get 3,000 to 4,000 fame. From small guys you get like 500 to 1,000, so you basically get good fame, but you cannot speedrun it like 24/7, so that's a big thing. I really like that they implemented that. The fame is really good, and that people have incentivized to do them, and they aren't too easy. Like when you stand in AoEs, you know that you will die. So in my opinion, for a tank, he always needs to keep moving, and the main thing is not to do damage but to taunt him. For DPSs, so for the team comp, I really think that you need always a curse, and then I would go for a fire and frost. Those are both one of the highest damage, and with the curse, piercing 24/7, having mobs less resistance and doing basically 50% more damage to them, I think could be really strong, and it actually is really strong. For healer, I would think right now, like we can see in the video, go for a great holy, because with the AoE you want to heal multiple people. Of course, one-handed is still good. So yeah, the big thing is that one-handed can heal really fast someone if he gets really like below 30% health, so that is huge. Great holy, yes, it's still good for multiple levels and for lower levels, but starting from 6 and 7 I would go 100% go one-handed, for the Despair Prayer being too good, whatever the tank gets. Because the main thing is, like, yes, you want the bigger damage you have, the faster you'll kill mobs, but the big thing is that the more damage you have, sometimes your cloth guys will pull the damage, so you don't want that. They'll just one-shot or two-shot them. So the main thing is to keep alive the tank. If tank can be alive longer, then this means more damage and more chance and time to be able to kill them. So try to keep tank alive, and the best thing either way is to go. I think even a nature could be fine, the great nature, putting on tank the living armor. Yes, they have nerfed living armor really hard, so it wouldn't be the best option, but with the protection of nature and with the living armor, it's really good and really strong in my opinion, just putting on a tank. As well, in this video we don't see people using the right potions, but in my opinion always the potions should be for healer the energy potion, and for the cloth guys use a poison potion, because it does a huge amount of damage. I have seen some tests and I have done myself some tests, and just for example, killing a rhino takes one tier 4 normal poison potion. So if you take 8.1 or just tier 8, not to be too expensive on your fan farm run, it still can be really good, and you can make either way. You don't make a lot of money from this. You need to remember that you are just doing that for the fun speed expeditions. You don't ever do them as well for the fame, maybe for the relics that you get a bit more doing them, but still in my opinion you don't ever make money. So don't come to this dungeon by making money. Remember, to the faster and the higher level you can, of course you'll have the bragging rights or whatever. But either way, try to use a lot of expensive stuff like 8.1, 8.2. Remember, you cannot lose anything, so don't be worried. You just will need to use the repair cost. Also, a big thing that I have seen in higher levels is people dying over and over again, and the gears breaking. So you don't ever want to die too much whenever like you see a new level and you haven't been there, or new mobs that keep killing you at least once or twice the same way. Try to just stop and think what way you could accomplish them, because just by dying you'll just lose your gear. Also, one important thing is to bring a repair table. In my opinion, it could help, but of course sometimes if you just cannot complete, try to do with better comp, because in my opinion a comp and communicating with everyone is a big thing, and of course not standing in AoEs. So I think the next expedition video I will try to I will try to record myself. Like you know, right now I don't have the highest level, so for now I'm showing others people content. But I'll try to like 100% go in depth by myself with the best comp. So having for the tank, I always think the air compressor is good, but not in this case because there isn't a lot of mobs. But still, the mace is really good in my opinion. Hammers, I really like hammers, but not for fame farming. So I would go for the mace as a tank. Like I said, healer, one hand holy healer, and then one frost, one fire, and one curse staff. Of course, all of those ranged DPS is using a cloth, tank using full plate, and even tank using the plate helmet. That is the knight, the guardian helmet. That is like gives you defensive. It's really good defensive that reduces, I think somewhere around 70% or 30% damage on some time and reduces your damage. Of course, as a tank, you never want to do damage, so you don't care about that. Then, like I said, important thing is to at least one or two guys have a mana. You don't ever want to stop, but you don't want to do too big pulls as well, and want to have your chest ability. So that's why at least one or two guys uses. At least, I think even for all cloth guys, just try to go full offensive. Only the defensive that you have is royal shoes. Everything that you can use, like for example this bow user, usually bows would use something else, but they're right now using the mage cowl for the poison, and other DPSs are using either way the druid cowl or something offensively so they can do more damage, because as a leather or a cloth you will die really fast, so it's not even important to have any defensives. The main thing is for tank to keep aggro. Really good that you also just saw in the video is knight's boots. They can give your teammates health, especially also your tank, keeping him alive and tank be able to taunt. Of course, don't do that too much, but if a lot of persons do the knight's armor, then it will not be too much damage for and too much aggro for tank to keep, so it shouldn't be as big difference. Of course, whenever I usually say the best builds, it doesn't mean that you can only complete with those type of builds. You can still, right now we can see a bow user, a fire, curse, holy healer, and a hammer tank, if I'm not mistaken. Still, I think that's a mace. But either way, still being able to complete, of course, is a bit slower and a bit harder, but still, it's viable option. Just of course, whatever you build use, try to use the best gear, like I said, starting from 8.1. Of course, in 7.1 it still can be done, I think the first 2 levels, but then starting from level 3 and 4, 100% go for the better gear and the better quality as well. Like, you know, you can get like masterpieces, excellent qualities, and so on and so forth. The important thing is whenever we go into more depth, into more levels, that other mobs will do a big AoEs. Like for example cannons. On a different map there will be a lot of cannons, so what you want to do is you want to go as close as you can to the cannon. Everyone come into the middle and just stay, like I said, close to the cannon. Not going anywhere because it will do AoEs, but all around the map. All around his like own body, but if you stand and stack him in his own body, that it will not do any damage to you. As well, if you have been fame farming high outlands, you know a boss spell that does every 20 seconds, it does a huge AoE that you basically cannot dodge, and basically that AoE reduces your armor resistance, and they will spawn like small skeletons. So basically what you want to do whenever you see that spell going on is keeping your all AoEs in one place, and whenever the skeletons spawn, just throw all the AoEs. For this boss that we right now can see, don't attack the mage guy when he has shield, because right now we can see it's doing normal damage. It's like 10 damage that should be usually like 100 to 150. So it's basically doing no damage, so you don't ever want to attack, only by keeping your stacks. So whenever you want to keep stacks, keep killing him and keep on auto attacking, but don't ever use your all big abilities and big spells on him. And of course, whenever the mana cowl is thrown, try not to stand close to each other, but try like to spread around. And that's basically that. I think expeditions are really fun and really enjoyable for everyone. So basically, I really recommend for everyone, if you have a guild or friends, just be sure to check them out. They are really fun, requires a high gear but you don't lose that gear, so in my opinion it's nice. Either way, appreciate everyone for watching, I hope you enjoy. Click like if this was helpful, let me know for more improvements, questions, opinions, concerns, anything like that. And in more future, I'll try to go also in-depth guide about exactly about expeditions, how to do like even higher tier levels, because the higher tier, the more higher tier mobs there will be, and the stronger, and you will need to use like other strategies and methods to kill them, not only. So that's why also you will need really high DPS and good tank. So that's that. Click like, subscribe, and peace.